So I recently lost a bet and the punishment was playing Marvel's Avengers video game. A game I have slagged off since its very first beta. Now, going into playing this game I thought, surely it can't be that bad now. I've had a year to work on it, and I was so wrong. What I was met with was poor game design, a lackluster story with even more lackluster characters, and a microtransaction system that would make even Fortnite blush. First off, the gameplay. The gameplay is as simple as you see on screen now. Make your way from point A to point B, fight a few waves of enemies, then either hold a zone, hold multiple zones, or take down a few more enemies or objectives. That's it. That's the core gameplay. Now, unlike other games that this is trying to imitate like Destiny and other as-a-service games, the gameplay loop in this game is so mind-numbingly boring that you will find yourself wondering what decisions in your life have led to this point in time. You have multiple characters to choose from, that is once you unlock them via the campaign. What's that? Can't wait to play as Captain America? Well, I hope you're looking forward to playing through 5 hours of the so-called campaign before you get to playing for the final hour of said campaign. Now, while we're on the topic of characters, none of the characters feel unique in their playstyles. Iron Man and Thor play the same, Miss Marvel, Hulk, Black Widow and Captain America all rely on the exact same button combinations for combos, so as a result no character feels unique. First two expansion characters, Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, both play the exact same way, revolving around a close quarters weapon and their ranged bows. The newest character, Black Panther, falls into the same button combinations category as the ones mentioned previously. No character feels good to play, no matter how much you customise them with the loot that you gather, which is even worse than the combat, as you get littered with useless gear and that most of the time you don't even need, and the other ones barely move the level scale in your favour. Now on to arguably my biggest issue with the game, as many others, the microtransactions. Each character comes with a hero pass, which is just as it sounds. A personal battle pass for every character where you unlock skins and currency to spend on additional skins. The only issue is that once you complete a hero's pass, that's it. No more way to earn credits for you. That means if there's a new skin in the marketplace that you want, well, you better part with your hard earned money to get it. There was an alternate way to get skins previously in the game with the game's pattern system, in which you can find schematics, although very rare in themselves. You will be rewarded with a random skin for a random character. The only issue is, this is no longer in the game, but the skins that are available via this system are. There's only no way to get them. Speaking of the marketplace, there has now been a new cause of controversy in the past few days, as they have now put consumables in the game. Consumables can now be used to temporarily boost the amount of XP a player gains or increase the number of resources they collect while playing, essentially acting like an accelerator to ensure faster progress. This news has angered fans of the game, who believe the developer and the publisher have gone back on a promise that paid microtransactions would only ever apply to cosmetic items. The Avengers game subreddit is full of posts criticising the decision, citing numerous occasions when promises were made that pay to win would never be an issue in the game. During the showcase presentation for the game at E3 2019, Senior Community Manager Migi Mary stated, "Our promise to the community is that you won't have random loot boxes or pay to win scenarios." This statement was met with loud cheers from the audience, because all you have to do nowadays to get a cheer is announce that your game won't have a predatory scheme. This pledge remained right up until launch. A blog post written on the game's official website in September 2020 stated, "We've committed that content purchasable with real money in Marvel's Avengers will be aesthetic only editions, which will ensure we can keep the game fresh for years to come." Now, fans are upset that this stance has been reversed. Every game that sells you XP and resource boosters is throttling the in-game systems to push you towards paying money to make the game more enjoyable, said one user on Reddit. Now, what makes this recent addition more interesting is that back in March 2021, Crystal Dynamics in fact slowed down the rate in which players could level up. A blog post at the time stated that in most RPGs, the amount of XP you need to level up increases as you gain level in the curve, but our system is a straight line. This has led to pacing issues, such as skill points currently being rewarded too fast, which may be confusing and overwhelming to new players. We want each decision to invest in a skill or heroic to be more meaningful. I guess now this is not an issue that the player is playing for said XP. Many people have used an excuse to say all the expansions so far that have been free, so they need to make revenue in some way. To that I say fuck you. I don't get people using free expansions as an excuse for this. The expansions you do get are pitiful, and they are so pitiful entirely because they don't generate revenue, that the devs are told to half-arse it and focus on microtransactions. I paid £20 for Spider-Man's DLC, and I got 3 story expansions with their own side content and 9 costumes. Crystal Dynamics would have charged more money than that just for the costumes, which tend to go between £8 to £14. I would happily switch to a paid expansion model over what we currently have, because then they would have to rely on actual content to generate money and maintain the game. Paying for content focuses on real content, good content, and that's how they will continue to make money, producing content. But then they would be forced to make shit that was actually worth it, and worth people's money. I've even completed the free expansions because it's not even worth it when it's free. It feels worse than the actual game, which is an accomplishment in itself. I believe that between this and the recent Game Pass move, this signifies that once the exclusive PlayStation Spider-Man event releases, this game will receive little to no updates and will hopefully die a slow and painful death. In case this hasn't come across in this video, I loathe this game. I hate this game. All it represents, and I can only implore you to never touch this game, even when it's undoubtedly offered for free. Fuck this piece of shit game.